Hi guys, good evening. We'll start in 5 minutes.
Hi Ravi, good evening.
Hi, good evening Prakriti. We will start in 5 minutes. We'll 4 minutes
Got
in fact. We'll wait for the
got
others
it.
to join.
Got it,
Okay.
got it.
Hi Ravi bhai.
Hi guys. Hi bye. Hi Kaushik.
Hello, Ravi bhai. Good evening.
Good evening, brother. Let's wait for 4 more minutes. People are still joining, and let's hit it exactly at 8:35. Anuj is in, so we won't be waiting much. So I think 4 more minutes. Hi Anuj. Yeah. So multiple people are trying to join. So just we'll start in 4 minutes.
No worries. Hi, Ravi. Hi, everyone.
Hi Anuj.
Hi Ravi.
Hi, Alex.
Hi guys. Guys, in the meantime, you have 4 minutes to
Hi
interact with
Anuj.
Anuj. If you wanna unmute yourself and talk to Anuj, the platform is all yours for the next 4 minutes before I jump in.
Yeah, and I understand it's a Sunday night. So firstly, like, thanks a lot who's here. Would be wonderful to see all your faces as well. If you can switch your cameras on, no pressure. Uh, but yeah, if you can, it would be awesome.
So Jatin, I won't be able to switch the camera on because I'm traveling.
That's fine. That's fine. Completely fine.
Thank
Hi
you. Thank
Anuj.
you.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
3 minutes. We are starting, guys.
Like telling people to switch their cameras on always feels like always takes me back to my managerial days. Uh, I hated it, like if I be honest, because I think it should not be forceful. It should be a matter of choice. So yeah,
And
great.
to be honest, if we cannot see you, we cannot refer you also. So keep this in mind.
That's also true.
We are starting in 2 minutes, guys.
Great. I'll personally say hello to the ones whose cameras are on. Hi Ashish. Hi Gokul. Amit. Hi. Hi Mugdha. Hi Kishore. Ashirvad. What a wonderful name, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Uh, Hi Prakriti. Hi Vinod.
We are starting in a minute, guys.
Karthik is also here. Hi Karthik. Karthik Hilwani. You've been talking to me for a while.
Yeah.
Hi Neeraj. Yeah, chat also works.
It's time, guys. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Oh my God, I can see faces like. Thank you for switching on the cameras. The moment I started talking about the referrals and referring you guys to the companies, I think maximum cameras has come up. So, regardless, whatever the situation or the promise is, thank you for switching on the cameras. And obviously, India's match is going on. On top of that, it's Sunday. You have taken the initiative to join the meeting. So, definitely, we care a lot about your efforts. So we have Anuj here, and I believe you have got multiple emails, reminders, and everything from our side about how or what the class or the context of the class is going to be. And people who are from B2C, welcome to understand how the money works in B2B. Number one, people who are already in B2B, again, welcome to understand how better we can generate the pipeline, because we are in sales and the only criteria we have to take care of at the end of the day is to bring money to the company. Sell the product. You're booking a meeting to sell the product. You are getting into the meeting to close the deals. So this is what we are going to learn from an expert. An expert, why I'm saying an expert? Because he has been there, done that, proven it, and he has numbers on his table. So we are going to learn and take a lot of insights. I would love that if you're on your toes today, because the inputs you're going to get, it's gonna multiply whatever you are building or whatever you are making in terms of revenue today. Eventually, if you're not in B2B, then also this particular process is going to be useful today, tomorrow, any day, because that's the eventual goal that you are looking forward to. No one wants to be an SDR and stay a particular SDR in a company. You want to move to the next level, and this is what the topic is gonna be. So welcome all. Thank you for taking out time and joining the session. And now, before I start the questions and all the things with Anuj, and I can see Kalrav has joined with his kid also. Thank you for so much of efforts, Kalrav, there. And we love the intent. And I believe you're not training your kid to understand the sales right now, because that kind of
No, no, Ravi, but thank you so much and apologies. I'm just doing the babysitting sidewise. So, yeah.
it's fine, Baba. It's fine. I am doing the babysitting from past 12 cohorts, so I understand. Now, coming back to Anuj, before we get into this question and answer, as I told you, I would love if Anuj can introduce himself. He is not in need of introducing himself, because everyone knows. And the kind of salespeople I have, the moment I through that poster that Anuj is joining, you must have clicked multiple links on LinkedIn and checked who Anuj is. So here we have Anuj. Anuj, the mic is all yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ravi. And too much pressure. I mean, it's 82 people on a Sunday night and a kid. I mean, this is way too much for me. Nonetheless, I'll give you a quick intro. I've been in the B2B SaaS space for the past 10 or 11 years now. Prior to that, I was also a software developer for like 1 or 2 years, apparently. I'm a computer science engineer by profession. Hated software development a lot, so much that I switched careers and let sales find me back in 2016. I've worked with companies like Zycus, then with Wingify, then with Quizzes, and today I'm like running my own little agency, if you will. Um, I've I think held multiple roles. So I started like in SDR in Zycus, literally saw what the SaaS world is like right from the ground. Grew up to like a leadership position there. Switched gears in Wingify. I built their outbound sales engine, which we took to like a couple of $1 million in 2 years. I see Sarthak is also in this session. Sarthak was one of my SDRs back in Wingify. Today he's an AE, and it's wonderful to see him as well here. Then I joined Quizzes, stayed there for 2 years, and there I was heading their GTM and international sales engine. Again, a 0 to 1 journey. We did like 0 to 1 million in a year. And then next year, we tried to switch gears and take it to like 3x, 4x multiple, building a team. For the past 7 to 8 months, what I'm doing is I'm advising startups, early stage startups, especially those who do not have enough skill set and resources to do sales on their own. So I'm helping them build their sales motions, GTM motions, outbound motions. That's what's keeping me occupied these days. That's pretty much it here about me, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anuj. So, guys, in short, if I tell you, he has an expertise of building things from scratch, 0 to 1, then 1 to 10, both. You will meet people who will help you to build a product from 0 to 1, and then you will meet a different set of people who will be helping you to scale it up from 1 to 10. But I tried to bring in a person who was kind enough to give it back to the community. And the only thing, when we interacted for the first time, I'll tell you, The only thing he told me that, Ravi, I loved the process or the thought of giving it back to the community, and I'm in. So that kind of a person we have on the sessions. So I have the first question. Before that, if anyone wants to ask anything, guys, this is the time you can unmute, or else we'll start the question and answer process. Anyone, anything, or else we are good to go.
This is the
Cool.
time.
Cool, we are good to go. I think Chaitanya has approved. Thank you, Chaitanya, for approving it. So we are moving to the first question that we have. That Anuj, like when you hear the word GTM, what comes to your mind? Like it's a very thing like SDRs, account executives, account management. We have cracked all the words, but when it comes to the GTM, the eco space is so huge, we cannot jot it down to a single line. So we would love to hear from you what your thought process is.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I think this term is being abused as well, I think, these days with all the GTM engineers coming up from everywhere and nobody exactly knowing what GTM is, apart from what it stands for. So it's an abbreviation, it stands for go to market. But what is it really? So I'll give you a very quick story. I'm learning Mandarin these days. It's one of the toughest languages. My Mandarin teacher, so you call a teacher like Lao Shi in Mandarin, right? So Su Lao Shi came to me the other day and she asked me that she needs help in sales. And I was like, okay, I mean, if you need help in sales, I can try to help you. Like I've been doing this for some time. So I started asking her questions that her basically product or service is Mandarin, the language, right? She's the one who can teach it to probably people in Bangalore or outside as well on Zoom calls. So in this case, her product or the service that she's selling is Mandarin. That I knew, but I didn't know the other points. Didn't know who is going to pay for Mandarin apart from people like me who are just learning for the fun of it. I didn't know which markets she's tapping into. I didn't know how much she's charging. I didn't know, if she has found the right market for herself. So all of these pointers, these questions that I'm talking about, this constitutes a GTM. So there are 4 or 5 pillars to it. Think about it in this way. If you start your own entrepreneurship journey someday, or if you're selling a product in your B2C space or B2B space, whatever space you're in, there are like 5 fundamental questions. The first one is, what is it that you're selling? What is your product? And if there is a need in the market for it as well, right? The language Mandarin has a need in the market, which is why she is able to make like couple of lakhs or even more in a month just by training people how to speak in Mandarin, right? So there is definitely, we call this a PMF, like a product market fit. When you have like a product or service, but you also have identified a market where this is a pain point for them and you can map it to probably that market. So one is a product, right? Second is, who do you sell it to? What she's doing it, she's right now selling it to people like me. She's teaching Mandarin to kids. She's teaching Mandarin to people in Dubai and Australia as well on Zoom calls. She's doing corporate trainings as well. And then she's also doing, I think, some offline sessions as well in a studio, right? So it's very scattered when it comes to probably the audience that she's tapping into. And that's the first advice that I gave to her, that you are doing too many things. I mean, you should identify 1 or 2 buckets where there is a real pain point, where there is a real need for probably upskilling in matter language, right? So first one was, what is the product or service? The second one is, who is it for? If I make shoes today, I can sell it to the entire world because everyone has 2 feet. But will I be successful in the era of like Nike and Adidas and Puma and everything? There is very less chance, right? But if I come up with like a unique pair of shoes which is only meant for the elderly between the age of 60 and 75, only for like women, elderly folks who have a certain kind of probably, I don't know, itching in their toe, right? So this is a very niche segment, and I can identify a pain point that I can solve for this segment. Right? So this is very important who you sell to. If you have made a product or a service and you think you can sell it to the world, uh, go back and think again. I mean, more often than not, it will not work, right? You need to identify your niche. That's number two. That's the second pillar. The third pillar is how do you sell it? There are multiple ways. I mean, when it comes to probably my Mandarin teacher, I found her very accidentally on Instagram. And I asked her, like, how do you tell people that you exist and that a Mandarin coach exists? She was like, yeah, people find me on Google and people can like, I'll get referrals and all, right? So you also need to understand if you have a product or a service or you're working for a product-based company or B2C company, what are the various channels through which people can know, right? And this, if I have to sum it up in one word, this is called marketing, right? How do people find you? That's the third pillar. The fourth pillar is price. I mean, what do you price it for? She prices her courses very differently for kids, for offline, for online sessions, for corporate trainings. All the price points are pretty different, right? That's the fourth pillar. And the fifth one, the last one is how do you sell it? Which is very similar to how do you identify. That's more marketing, but this is more sales. How do you sell it? Do you sell it online? Do you sell it offline? Is it a lemonade stand? A lemonade stand has better chances of selling in front of a park, right? But not so much online through paid ads. If you're in a B2C environment, there are more chances of selling via performance marketing, paid ads on Instagram, on social media. If you're in a B2B sort of an environment, the game can be totally different, and you might be doing a lot of inside sales and a lot of events and a lot of face-to-face meetings. So these are the five main pillars of GTM. Your product, PMF, uh, where do you sell it, how do you sell it, your pricing, and how do people find you, and who are those people. So that's like GTM in a nutshell. Always go back to that Mandarin story or that lemonade stand whenever you want to think about GTM. Most of the people confuse GTM with sales. They think it's the same, but sales is just a part of it.
Perfect, perfect. So, guys, any question on this particular part? You wanna ask any added questions? But one thing I would love to ask that people who are coming from different backgrounds, and if they are interacting with people who are already into GTMs, so what is that one liner? Avni, can you mute yourself? Avni, yeah, yeah, perfect. So, Anuj, someone is interacting with me, being from the GTM, and they're asking me what I understand by GTM. So, what is that one sentence would cover almost 70? Obviously, it's impossible to cover the 100% of the meaning of the GTM, but 60 to 70%. What is that one liner?
One liner is if you have to define GTM in a line, it is what do I have to offer to whom, in what way, at what price point, through which channels. That's GTM.
Guys, you can note it down. Gonna be useful for you. So now the following.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, sure. Gosh.
What is it that I'm taking to market? Via which channels, at what price point, to who all, in what ways? Like you can, like there are 5 variables, so you can put anything here or there. It's always the product, the price, the people who will buy, how will they find you, and who will you sell.
And okay, Kaushik, good to go. Cool. So Anuj, one more question. Very interesting answer. So suppose if someone is getting into the GTM roles, right? They have to most of the time they have to build it from the scratch. Now, if I am building it from the scratch, then I don't have a concrete roadmap to make it successful. So when you started working at for quizzes or whenever you were building a pipeline, when you realize that Acha, what I'm doing, it's actually working. So what are the pointers when I'm executing a certain plan developed by me, I can feel that it's working or it's not working. When it happened with you, you can just share the story or something.
Yeah, that's a good question because you can easily be fooled by a signal which might tell you that it's working, but it's actually not, right? And it's very different from like a contextual standpoint. In a B2B environment, those signals that would say that this strategy is working is quite different from probably what it would be in a B2C environment, which is quite different from probably what it would be in a services environment. Services like my Mandarin teacher selling her Mandarin courses, right? But there are a few things that you can look at. So I think, like there is one way is I think instinctually you will get to know if someone has seen the Matrix at the very end of it, when like Neo realizes he's the one, and he no longer sees his people, but instead of people he's seeing all the lines of code. He is actually like figured out, yes, this is it and this is working and I'm the one, and I don't need probably any more guns to fight the agents and anything. You'll get to know, but there have to be certain number of, I think, variables or signals that are pointing towards, this is working. So in quizzes, I think when we started, we had like US was working well. 99% of the revenue was coming from US. I was given the ROW markets and I was told to figure out everything, right? Which, like, the world was my oyster. So Australia, Canada, UK, China, Afghanistan, Kenya, Middle East, you name it. And like I was handling all the regions. But no one person can do this, right? At least in the human world and not in the matrix world. So my entire goal there was to figure out that where does quizzes find its value in which markets, at what price points, with what strategies. Because we could only, my goal was to identify those 4 or 5 buckets which work really well, right? As it turned out, I think we found more than 4 or 5. But in terms of signals, one would be, I think, a lot of people would start resonating to your product or service, or probably the pain point. They would start talking to you. They would say, yes, this is something that I'm struggling with. For example, companies struggle with hiring, right? Companies struggle with attrition. Companies struggle with a lot of tools for cost saving. SDRs struggle with a lot of tech for email writing, right? SDRs struggle with a lot of cold calls not getting picked up. So these are pain points, right? And when your product, your service, your whatever you have built is getting to be identified with your target audience, that's like one major signal, that you have identified that pain point which is really resonating with the audience. And that does not necessarily mean that they'll buy, right? But that will mean that you will have those conversations with them over emails, over phone calls, over demos, whatever, and they will start telling you more about their pain points. Yes, this is a problem for me, but I don't have the money to buy, I don't have the budgets. But they'll start identifying, right? That's signal number 1. Signal number 2 can be, of course, that you will start generating some sort of sales as well. So for example, I'm very sure, Ravi, if you or me or anyone else would have marketed this webinar on Instagram, right? And like put some money into it and people are scrolling. And you know how the algorithms work, right? If people are searching for sales and all, they would come across an ad for this webinar. And if we had said that, like join this webinar and it can like change your life and it can do this for you, only those people who identify with the messaging that we have put in would register or pay money or whatever. But even if it's like 49 rupees, 99 bucks, whatever the cost of the webinar is, if they are paying something, right, that's a higher intent, even if it's like a rupee. So that's the second signal. You'll start getting some sort of sales. There are other signals as well. I think once you start identifying the right channels to take your product or service to the market, those will start multiplying, right? So for example, if I am selling staffing services, the best channel for me uh, might not be emails. The best channel might be calls, because my audience is more closer to their phones than they are to their PCs. And if I'm selling something to digital marketing people, like we used to do in Bingify, and Sarthak can probably comment on this as well, those people hang out like on social media. So we used to get like a lot of meetings and a lot of conversations driven on LinkedIn rather than on phone calls or emails. So that channel would start multiplying as well, that you have probably identified to take to the market. So these thanks. So these are few of the signals I think that you can capitalize on, although there are more as well. And once you reach that stage, then you like start seeing everything through, I don't know, Neo's eyes from the Matrix, maybe.
Perfect, perfect. So in short, guys, the 3 pointers that he mentioned majorly is the first pointer, that if the person is resonating with the solution that you are providing and opening up the pain pointers and making relevance to you and your product, that's the first signal. The second signal, if you are generating some sort of interest in terms of money, that you are building some revenue, that's the second signal. And the third signal, obviously you understood right now, right? So these are the 3 signals you have to focus upon. But I have a question now. That question is from the audience.
Oh, wow.
And they have DM'd me, and the question is, everyone wants to know how the first $100,000 happened. Like, obviously it's for the first time for everyone. It's going to be first time for Abu Sufyan, for Amrish, for Saurabh, Paul, Mugda. So it's going to be their roadmap. So how was the first $100,000 for you?
Yeah, is this like in quizzes?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so when I joined, we were like literally at zero, and yeah, it was tough. So I think so I have a rule. I think whenever I take a new project, and I'm not like recommending or suggesting this rule to everyone, but I'm just telling you how I probably go about new projects. I'm mostly like all in. So I would like kill myself to get the needle moving, whether it's work. So I don't look at like how much input I'm giving, whether it's like working in the mornings, whatever it is. Again, I'm not recommending this to anyone. I'm just telling you like probably what it took me to do it, right? To move the first needle. And the biggest, I think, the biggest learning in that 0 to 100K journey is that it takes a lot here. I mean, that first $100,000, because you literally don't know anything. You don't know the right channels that will work for you. You don't know the right personas. You have some learnings from some other geographies, but you don't exactly know what it will take, right? You don't know the right value propositions. You don't know how to pitch them. You don't know how to take your product there because you've just joined. And if you've joined a startup, there is not a lot of like enablement training. You don't know what the right price point is. You don't know if you are like doing the right kind of uh, value-based selling or not. So there are a lot of unknown variables, and it's like literally impossible to know all these variables with like one single demonstration call or one single conversation with the prospect, one single discovery, one single negotiation. It does not happen that way. You have to yeah, Pankaj, I'll just come to that. You have to like do a lot of rapid experiments, like very, very quickly. So how I did it was like day one, I came in like if it's a Monday, I would like pick up 3 markets, Australia, UK, Canada. I would like reach out to all the leads with 5 different kinds of messaging, see what's resonating. Whatever is resonating, I'll double down on it the next day and run 3 new experiments, right? So the learnings from the first experiment are taken into the new ones. Then you probably rapidly evolve and do the same iteration by iteration. But at the same time, you need to also start doing new things as well. You can't just keep doubling down on the things that are working, because the first 100 days, the first $100,000 is go bizarre and haywire when it comes to your experiments very quickly, and then you have to pivot as well. If you are getting a signal from a market like, let's say, UK, that not a lot of public schools have the money there to invest in technology, but the private schools and the universities do. So you need to quickly take this learning, pivot it, and put it in your the rest of the campaigns, and don't waste a lot of time in going back to public schools. That's one example in a B2C sort of an environment. So we have a guy here in our society who's trying to sell milkshake, protein milkshakes. I think the name is Movie or something. So he, in the first year, he tried to do a lot by the book. He like read how to pick like protein shakes to market, run Instagram ads, run this, run that. Nothing worked. Now what he's doing is he's doing random experiments. I saw one of his reels on Instagram where he's in a flight and he's wearing like a coat and everything with movie here, and he's talking to the folks inside a flight which is 30,000 feet above the air. I mean, I don't want to comment on if this is the right thing to do or not, but these are the sort of crazy experiments you need to do in order to find out what is resonating, what is not. He got so frustrated that he did everything by the book, nothing worked. So now this year he's like, I'm going to do everything which is not by the book, right? He's going to metro stations. He's doing like a lot of experiments, a lot of this and that, just to understand what is resonating with the market. And every day he's doing some 100-day challenge right now, I think. But yeah, that's what it takes. Like a lot of grit, a lot of huge amount of hard work, a lot of experiments. You need to pivot really well. You need to really listen to what your customers are saying, incorporate those learnings very quickly, pivot fast, note down what's working, pivot fast, move back, move forth. Yeah, it's hell, but the rewards are fantastic. If you can like make it to day 101, you've won the show.
Perfect, perfect. Now, too many successful questions. What worked, how it worked. Now, I have a very basic, unsuccessful question. When was there was a moment when you realized nothing is working? How was the mindset, and what was the jump back strategy? Because obviously, it can be successful, but it will be a drawback or a jump back sometimes when things are not working. So, how was the mindset? When was the situation when it didn't work, and what you did to jump back on it?
Yeah, a lot of stories here. I mean, a lot of things do not work when you're working with
Love
a
to take one of the stories so we can understand the mindset of jumping back.
super. I'll maybe take a story way from the past here, from my days at Zycus maybe, and because that's a more interesting one. So when I joined Zycus, I was like a software engineer for 2 years. I hated my coding job, and I knew what not to do in life, which was coding, right? But I didn't know what to do. So 1 year, I think I had joined like a non-profit, uh, so that to keep myself occupied as well as figure out what I need to do. I just knew I need to be in front of people, in front of customers, talking to them because that's what I liked. But I didn't know that like I had to do sales, right? Zycus happened very accidentally with me. It was like sales found me instead of me finding it. I didn't even know what an SDR was, what SaaS was when I joined. And 25 years of my life I had lived in Delhi. So this transition took me to Bombay as well. So here's what all changed in my life, right? New city. I had never stayed away from family or from Delhi. New job, new company, new boss, new people, night shift, uh, new industry altogether. And Zycus is into one of the most complex industries, which is procurement and supply chain. Like hugely complex, and deal sizes are $150,000. New role. I didn't know what SaaS is, what SDR is, like what they do. Like I knew nothing, right? My boss just, I think, took a bet on me. So it was too much new stuff for me, right? And it was quite overwhelming. And like I gave up multiple times, I remember, Ravi, like in the first 90 days, I did not even have this mindset back then, that do whatever it takes in the first 90, 100 days. And I, like, if I have to be honest, I thought that I'll pack my bags and go back to my home to Delhi, like breathe my toxic air. So, but, uh, it only takes like one good day, I think, in this world, in the SaaS sales space world or in the sales world to change things. I think that one good day happened somewhere in the second or third month where like I got a very good conversation on a cold call, right? And that too with like a head of procurement of a huge company. The company's name I even remember Novelis. That's like aluminum manufacturing, multi-billion dollar company. It's a part of, I think, Aditya Birla Group, but based in the US. So yeah, that gave me a lot of confidence, and I was like, whoa, okay, this huge titled head of procurement of a multi-billion dollar company has just spoken to me for 15 goddamn minutes over a cold call, explained to me what is frustrating in her procurement life. I have given her a pitch of what Zycus is, how it can probably work for her, and she's impressed, and I am impressed, and we are having a demonstration call next week, and that matters a lot. Yeah, that first win, whether you're, and you can pick any industry in the world, right? Look at someone like Bobby Deol in Bollywood, right? I used to 5 years back, I used to follow a page on Facebook. Yeah, 5 years back, Facebook was still a thing. Uh, and the page was called something of the sorts, daily updates on Bobby Deol's career, right? And every single day at 5 p.m., there was a post from the administrator saying it's dead. And every single day, like he had scheduled them, obviously. But imagine, like every single day at 5 p.m., there is a page on Facebook which is saying Bobby Deol's career is dead. And it had like 100,000 followers or something. It might still exist. You might just want to find it on Facebook, right? But look at him today. I mean, this one good thing happened with, I think, Animal, right? Where someone took a bet on him. It worked more than anyone in the world expected. I think he got like more limelight than even Ranbir in the movie. He's done a very good role again with Aryan Khan's this thing, Bastards of Bollywood, whatever the name is, and he's shining now. Like there are so many Bobby Deol fans now. I can't believe it. I used to be one of them back in the day.
So we are
Yeah,
we are fans of the era of Soldier and Gupt. So if
yeah, exactly right, and Bichu and everything.
so,
But
so
none, yeah, I mean,
sure,
this
sure.
was, you really need to capitalize on that one good thing, is what I think. Legends know, yeah, exactly, yeah. Uh, and once you start capitalizing it, it's so much of mindset, right? It's so much of a mindset game that you can turn it into like two good things and another good thing in another week and another one and another one. And everyone who has cold called here, been an SDR, wants to be an SDR, has been in sales, knows how much grit it takes, how many rejections you hear, how many bad moods you come across. Even on an email, I have been like, people have said very bad things to me over emails as well, right? But this is what it takes. I mean, yeah, you fall down, you get up, you fall down again, and one day it will happen.
So if our sales Bobby Deols are going through a rough patch, that what that one parameter they should focus on, that the ray of hope that Jamal Kudu will happen for them. So what is that one parameter they should be focusing upon for waiting for their Jamal Kudu moment?
Yeah, so here's another thing that I didn't attach to that story, which helped me a lot. So, and I didn't do this by choice. I was in those first 90 days at Zycus when things were not working. I was more or less like, this is done. Let's just enjoy Bombay and all. So someone told me that there is some 5K run and everything. So I went for the run and I really enjoyed it. Then I found myself like running a lot. Like you go for your morning runs. That happened in 2016. And like the sages say that whenever you are running for no reason, you are either running away from something or towards something, right? It's one of those two things. And I was obviously running away from my problems back then. But I think that if I connect the dots backwards from today, it had a great role in like making my Zycus life a lot better. Because like for running every single day, you need a lot of things in your life to happen correctly. Like you need discipline, you need to wake up at time, you need to like ready your clothes and shoes the night before. You need to do the thing, run every single day. You need to again get up, you're in pain, you need to register for marathons, and then it's more about showing up every single day, right? So like one word, if I have to put it, it's endurance for me. I've used this multiple times in my interviews as well when I was on the other side and hiring SDRs. I used to like take a bet on folks who are into like endurance training, who are into probably who's a triathlete, even if their interview is not going very, very well. if they have that sales spark, and if they are someone who has endurance in them, once and twice I have taken a bet on them and it has worked superbly for me. Yeah.
So, guys, in short, if you are trying to be consistent in sales, which is not possible most of the days, you have to develop parallelly a consistent habit. So you can focus and you can develop that endurance which is talking about. तो आपको
100%.
लगेगा कि मैं डेली सुबह उठ के दौड़ता रहा हूँ, मैं ये भी तो साथ में. This is what. So thank you so much. Very great thought, yeah. But Anuj, one thing, we understood how the $100,000 happened and how the first initial days were there. But once that $0 to $100,000 was done, and then $1 million pipeline was on the table, what shift in terms of your mindset, in terms of your plans? Because obviously no one wants to stay at, eventually Ashish is going to be at $100,000 someday, and he wants to hit $1 million. What he should shift internally or process wise as well?
Got it. One thing that changes, and it happens automatically, is you start. Okay, there are two things actually. I think one thing is you start thinking in processes and systems. That's one. So till 100K, it was more of ki I will not leave a single dollar on the table no matter what happens, right? I'm not going to leave it, even if it is going to take a lot of time and energy from me, even if it is a call in Spain and I have to, like, I don't know, Google Translate some words in Spanish and English. I'm not going to leave those $500 on the table. And that's what I did till 0 to 100K. Like, whatever is going to happen, I need to prove myself. But then after a certain point, and that point can be like $100,000 or probably a particular milestone that fits really well with your GTM, you need to think, I think, in systems and processes, in terms of you need to go back and understand what worked really well, what did not work at all, and what is right in the middle. Like, you still can't say if it is working or not, right? You make these like three segments. Whatever has worked for you, you should double and triple down on it for sure. That is the entire point of running those experiments. Why would I take demos at 3 or 4 in the morning in Australia? Just to figure out if Australia is a market that can give me like hundreds and $200,000 in the coming year or not. Only then it matters, right? So you need to quickly understand from your learnings whatever is working and start doubling and tripling down on it. Whether it comes to a channel, like maybe LinkedIn works really well for the US market. So I'll double or triple down on it, and I'll not focus a lot on maybe cold calls, because cold calls pickup rates were not that great in the US, right? But when it comes to the Middle East, there the emails were working really well. So all my like cold email outbound strategy or the sequences that I built, I focused more on the Middle East, in the sequence form of manner. Then you might wanna the middle segment where you are unsure, right? So for example, in quizzes, resellers was one of these segments. The data said that don't waste your time on resellers. What do you call it? Purvaj, I don't know, the ex-employees or the employees who were working or trying to work on international sales earlier, who could not. Sorry, ancestors. Thanks. Yeah, my ancestors in the company, they told me a lot that your resellers are trying. You will just like end up spending a lot of time and energy and nothing will work. But if the data is not supporting it, if your colleagues are saying it's not the right thing, but you still have some sort of a signal from it, right? My signal was one single deal of $500. That's minimum most. Yes, exactly. That was the minimum most amount that one can have as a deal, at least back then in quizzes. Like my co-founder told me, there is nothing to be sold below $500. That's the minimum most number. And was mine was actually 497, so I had to take an internal approval from finance as well. But yeah, it looked rubbish to everyone that like in the US people are closing like $20,000-$30,000 deals, and this guy has closed like a $497 deal, right? Um, as it turned out, in the coming year, we did close to $550,000 from resellers in 9 months. Today we are doing 1.5 million. Is what I got.
Crazy
Uh,
number.
yeah, before me it was zero. Everyone had the notion that it's a waste of time. Today, from what I've heard, the grapevine is that resellers is the biggest strategy for my previous company, and everyone is investing a lot of resources and taking a lot of big bets only on resellers. So that's the counterintuitive bets that you need to take as well at times. But there would also be signals which clearly say that, this region is like, it's of no use. For example, China for us was of no use. I mean, all of us have heard of the Great Wall of China, right? The amount of investments that we had to make to set up a local server there in China. I mean, that investment was so huge that the entire target that was given to me would have dissolved there. So that was a bet that nobody wanted to take and nobody took, and nobody even should take if someone from Quizzes is on this call. I mean, it's a waste of a bet. So you need to really think in these buckets. Absolutely no, absolutely yes, and what's the maybe, where you can really go with your gut and take that bet.
Perfect. So guys, if I have to jot it down in a single line, before $100,000 it's all about experimenting and trying out and grabbing everything that's coming your way. But once you have achieved that $100,000, it's all about standing the data backed outputs, multiplying where the data is proving things are working, and structurizing the process. So this is the difference. So thank you so much, Anuj. Now we have some questions, guys. We'll take the question after two more questions that I have. The enough of serious talks. Now I want to ask you a very funny question. What is the craziest or the funniest moment or the sale that you had while selling internationally from India? And you were like, "Ye to nahi bikega," and suddenly you are seeing, "Arey bhai, this is crazy."
Uh, yeah, reseller was definitely one which I told you about, right? Like it was absolutely crazy. Nobody believed, and like people, I still can't believe that we did so much. Another one, I think, yeah, I mean, so I sold, like I closed a deal in Ghana, and I look back at it, I look at my life, and I never thought that I could sell anything to anyone ever in Ghana. I mean, it was pretty crazy to be honest, because it's not a country that anyone taps into. It's not a region for SaaS. You look at the GDP of the country. No, like a lot of people have not even heard of it. Someone might be thinking where it is, and the deal size was like pretty decent as well. It was around two and a half, $3,000, which is not bad. So that's one very crazy thing. And I mean, to close it, I remember like taking like a PD session for 65 teachers on a Zoom call in Ghana, and it was like this one superintendent or administrator on that call as well. Only her camera was on. It was very funny, and all the other 64 teachers' cameras were off.
Just
And
like
it
our
felt, yeah. It felt more like they are the students, and this is a session going on, and they were like there, and I couldn't know if they were like really enjoying it or not. But then I think after the demo and after I think the negotiation, the closure, the signature, I like received a very wonderful email from one of the teachers saying, "Sorry, I couldn't like get my camera on, but like this is one of the most brilliant BD sessions that we have had in a while." And I'm like, wow. Like I sold someone to Ghana and they are saying that they are amazed. Like this is like a double whammy, and yeah, it's still very close to my heart. I don't think like this is something that I wanna tell to my kids if I have any in the future, that you know what, like I sold something in Ghana. Yeah, I don't think like and it's a reason that obviously we did not double down on or triple down on. Uh but yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean,
I'm getting multiple DMs where people. I'll just will try to wrap this question up. I'm getting multiple DMs where people are asking me what's the story behind the 10 lakhs incentive post that is
yeah,
viral on LinkedIn.
I posted the entire story on LinkedIn. So yeah, I mean, it was one of the biggest deals for the company as well. I think the third or the fourth highest. It took 11 months, maybe, or a year to close it. It was in Canada. It was one of the biggest districts in Canada. Um, it took more than 25 or 30 calls in the form of demos, discoveries, negotiations, back and forth, multiple demos. At one point in time, I even roped in people from marketing, engineering, product growth, and my co-founder on a demo, just to show like the force that is working behind the scenes on the platform. Uh, I also remember, I think one of the toughest negotiation calls that I've taken, where there were like 7 people on a Zoom call in a boardroom, and I was in a conference room of 12 people alone. It was brutal. And yeah, I mean, it took a lot, yeah, in all honesty, but very, very sweetly, handsomely rewarded for it as well. And
So
these are things that I think you like take to your grave. So it's quite. I think it's quite this thing that you can always you have this thing that you can boast about for your entire life, right? So that's one of those things. And yeah, the entire deal amount was close to $237,000. Uh, that's close to, I think in INR, 100,000 is 80 lakhs, right? So that's close to 2 CR maybe, if I'm not wrong. Is that the
around
number?
rounding off to. So, so guys, if you think that 25 calls and great negotiation is gonna give you 10 lakhs 1 month incentive, I would love that if you can kill that thumbs up or the clap button or the heart emojis that we have. If you think it's gonna be your story someday, so this is what it's all about. You keep pushing. You never know that when Jamal Kudu moment. Now I have a statement to pass it on to you. That Jamal Kudu moment of yours. And now, following up a very important question that for all the SDRs and account executives we have out there who are, building revenues, struggling, falling down, getting up, again running again, what is that one skill that the SDRs and account executive must master?
Hmm. Yeah, in terms of soft skill, I think I spoke about this. It's obviously endurance. I mean, nothing can match it because it's a very big umbrella. Like endurance, what it does is it covers a discipline, it covers it covers grit, it covers rejections, it covers falling down, getting up again, showing up, all of those things. That's the biggest soft skill that you can have. And the best way to reverse engineer your way to it is like get something of an endurance sport in your life, and you'll see ripple effects, because how you do one thing is how you do everything in life, right? Please don't think that the way you work and the way you're showing up in this call is pretty different from the way you do other things, like talk to your better halves, girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, the way you talk to your family, the way you learn to play the guitar or go to the gym or play cricket or do anything in life. It's very similar. I mean, if you have not thought about it before going to sleep tonight, just think about it. Like how you do one thing in one aspect of life is pretty much how you do it in every other aspect. So if you really need to understand how you work, just see some other very important aspect of your life, like how you behave with your family members, how you talk to them. You'll see like little glimpses of them. So there's a hack to this if you want to reverse engineer and like have those ripple effects in your work life. Like take up anything related to endurance. Long distance running is one of them. So like I remember that 5K in 2016. Now I'm running like 31K on a random Saturday morning, right? And it's so natural. I mean, but it's not because it took like 9 years. Uh, so that's what it takes. Endurance is the biggest, I think, soft skill that you can ever have. If you talk of hard skills, I mean, uh, the one mistake that a lot of I think salespeople make who are AEs is they start thinking that now they have SDRs for pipeline. So pipeline is still, I think, the biggest thing that you can do in sales, especially in B2B sales, not so much in B2C maybe, but in B2B, it is such an important indicator of how you are going to end up closing the quarter, closing your year. It is a very important indicator for the company as well. My company's CEOs in all three companies never looked at the sales. They always used to look at the pipeline, right? Because through the pipeline, there is a certain conversion ratio. And that conversion ratio, if like it's working at 3:1, like for every three deals in the pipeline one closes, it might become two or four. It can never go to 13. That's not how it happens, especially in a single year in B2B sales, right? And the number one mistake that AEs make is when they transition from an SDR to AE, they think now they are done with pipeline building because now my SDR will build it, and that's the most wrong thing ever, because it's a skill. And as an AE, if you're not developing your own pipeline and you're just relying on your SDRs, you're kind of doing a disservice, is what I think. Because what if they quit tomorrow? What if they find a AE job tomorrow? What if they don't want to work with you? What if they are not able to hit their numbers? It is obviously going to affect, I think, your entire quota. So nothing beyond pipeline. And endurance is the best way to do it.
Perfect, perfect. And what about the folks who are trying to break into this B2B SaaS industry? Anything for them?
Uh, do you mean like the folks right
From the
now who are right now in B2C?
ed techs, different kind of sales, but selling it to individuals.
Hmm. Think about it, I think this way. So I purchased a PS5, I think few years back, 2 years back. Um, I had the money, and you know how these B2C sales is, right? Like if you're seeing an ad on Instagram and something strikes, like a piece of cloth or maybe some sports equipment, you see it and it's more of an impulsive buy. There is emotion, there is impulse, and there is, yes, I'll buy it or no, I'll not. It's more like this. You're the decision maker here. There's no contract. Like they're not like PlayStation did not send me a contract to sign, and I did not have to get it approved by I don't know, my wife or someone else that I can buy. I mean, it was a very impulsive decision in the moment. Like I had a good salary that month, so I purchased it. That's how I look at B2C. It's more emotion, it's more impulse, but it's obviously the product as well. I did not buy the Xbox and I did buy the PS5 for a reason, right? So don't think that what you're selling doesn't matter. But the driving forces behind it is more emotional, more impulse, more in the moment, and if you have like the money for it or not. 3 years back, we also got someone like in our house who, like, we got like a puppy in our house. So she is now soon going to turn 3 years old. That purchase happened, I think, very near to that PS5 as well. Because we had to pay. That's how it is. I mean, I feel very bad that we had to buy our dog if I look back because she is now family. But we did have to pay a certain amount to the breeder, right? But if you're thinking that it was the same way as I purchased a PS5, you're absolutely wrong because it's not. When you're buying a dog, there is a committee, and that's your family. You need to have conversations with everyone in your family because it affects everyone, right? You don't just buy a dog, you don't buy and hide them in your almirah. You don't do that. They become a part of your family, become a part of your day, and additionally, it's not a one-time buy. There are vet visits, there is food, there are toys, there are other dogs, there is like a dog walker. Uh, it literally changes your entire day-to-day life, right? So that's how B2B sales is. There's like a buying committee. There are multiple stakeholders. I just can't go and buy like a horse tomorrow and bring it here. I can't do that, right? I need to ask like 10 people first. And then there is a timeline as well. It's not that I will, go to my wife and say, you know what, I'm buying a horse tomorrow and I have the money, and it won't work that way because it's obviously not going to work. I mean, she's listening, she'll kill me right now. But you know what I mean, right? Like it's always, yeah, let's see, maybe next year. Right now, like we have the money, but maybe let's save some more. And that's budget, that was timeline, that was stakeholders, that was multi-threading. Then it's more about maintenance as well. Your customer success part post sales. That once we buy, who's going to clean her up? Who's going to take her for walks? Who's going to feed them? What is that going to cost? This is your B2B environment. There are multiple variables. The ticket size is higher. There is a timeline. There is a budget. There is an authority. It's not more impulse buying. It's more decision driven, right? You have certain qualification criteria. Maybe like my family says that bringing a cat home is a better decision than a horse, right? So all of these things matter as well. That's how you can think about a B2B versus B2C, if that is making any sense.
So I have one question that I have asked every masterclass that we have conducted. I want an answer with a yes and no, uh, with no backup reasoning. That what do you think? This B2B SaaS is a bubble? Yes, no.
Uh, like, I would like to take a step back and ask why you asked this question.
So, but in short, what do you think? It's gonna be a
Is this solution in the market today that it's a bubble?
There is a notion, and there will always be a notion when people are making a transition. Might not be a notion who are actually doing it, but it always a notion who are actually trying to make a transition, because they will be always skeptical. Acha, I'm making a transition. How it's gonna be? How the future looks like? So it might not be the for the people who are actually driving the B2B SaaS
Hmm.
module, but people who are trying to make a change. This is a very big question.
Fair question. Yeah, the answer is no, but there is a contention to it. The contention is AI. With AI, people can build products very fast now, and it's only going to get faster, right? Uh, 3 weeks back, I built something and shipped it. So now to get it into a B2B SaaS kind of an environment, but what I'm trying to say is the product prototyping and shipping will get faster with AI. We have to, all of us, accept this fact. Does that make B2B SaaS a bubble? The answer is still no. It's very much a prominent market today. If you know the right bets to take, the right companies to work with, the right people in the B2B SaaS sales space, the right mentors, the right ways to do it, there is still like a lot of scope. Like, it's only going to grow the right companies in that manner. Definitely not a bubble, but you need to have some caution when it comes to how you see the world with AI.
So, in short, it's but the cell phone industry is not a bubble, but sticking to Nokia or working for Samsung should be the choice. You're gonna work for the dying brand or dying thing, or you're gonna you wanna work for a company which is evolving and making the fit for the market continuously.
Right, and you need to evolve yourself as well. You need to pivot very fast. If you're seeing your company is like sinking, I mean, you need to make that tough decision to jump ship to a better company, which you see has a future in the world. And there are tons out there who are doing like amazing job with, I think, what they are building and how they are embedding AI into it. Like I can name like 100 companies right now in the B2B SaaS space who are going to kill it in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's what you need to look out for. And it's also about you, I think, doing a lot of this homework and market study yourself as well. So it's still a growing space. It is going to get better, but you need to take the right bets.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's all from my side. Now we'll go with the questions that we have. So the first question is asked by Pankaj, if he's there. Can we have the names of the technology used for GTM standpoint? So guys, we will be sharing a feedback form. Once you fill the feedback form at the end of the class, we'll be sharing a PDF with you over your email. And that PDF will have the details of the basic GTM standpoints, strategies, and the tools that is making it successful. So that will be answered, but through PDF. So thank you so much, Pankaj, for the question. Great question. And just to add on it, guys, we have been, Hire for Skills have been training people to move from B2C to B2B and understanding the market viewpoint. We have understood what is the requirement of the market and how the pipeline and everything works. So we might be launching a course for people to move from SDR to account executive, for people who are account executive, for them to move to GTM roles, or this whole hierarchy, how it's gonna work. So in short, how the revenue building works in the space of B2B SaaS. We are going to have a course on this very soon. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted how it's going to get designed, how the outcome looks like, how the process will work. So it's going to be in pipe. It's already in pipeline. And yes, you'll be getting the news very soon. So thank you so much, Pankaj. You asked me a question which got me to pitch the product that I'm launching. So thank you so much for the good question. Now, guys, I have not paid Pankaj for that question, so don't think like Ravi ne set kara hai. It's just random question which gave me the opportunity to pitch the new product of mine. Now, coming to the next question I have, Pranav, how did you balance night shift and running, Anuj? So he ran away from the night shift.
That's a good way to. Yeah, that's right. And actually, it's very easy. I mean, in a night shift, it's easier because my day used to start at 5:30 p.m. in the evening and at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I used to get home by 3:30. Everyone was dead asleep, which was my roommates. No shore sharaba, no nothing, right? And I used to like eat a good meal for an hour, maybe hour and a half, go for an hour at 5:30, come back at 7, have breakfast with my roommates. That's when we used to sink in. They were getting up and having their breakfast, and I was getting down and having my breakfast. And the world is very different when you're doing a night shift. It can work for you as well, because when you're going to the barber to get a haircut, there's no rush because you're going at a very odd time, like at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. Who does that? Like they are like even the shop is empty. So those things can work for you, but I usually don't recommend like a lot of people to do the night shift. It can mess up with your, I think, body clock. So I think I reached that stage in my life, I think 3 or 4 years back, when I said that now I'm at a stage where I'm financially secured enough to say that I will never ever work the night shift. You can pay me in millions, I will not, and that is it. But I couldn't say that when I was, just joining the B2B SaaS space because I was nothing. I was absolutely nothing. I didn't know anything. Why would anyone take a bet on me? Why? How can I even go and say I'll not work the night shift? They'll tell me, okay, you like get lost. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot, but don't make that mistake very early in your career if that is the only option for you.
Guys, in short, you need to earn that liberty
Yeah, you
of
need to.
saying that I won't be working for the night shift. And to earn that liberty, you have to go through hell, right? So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
it's saying the journey to heaven is through hell.
amazing.
Right?
This is
Now,
how-
yes,
yeah,
yes, Anuj. So sorry. Yeah, you're
yeah,
saying
I'm
something.
saying kind of spiritual talk.
Now, guys, Pushkar, your question got answered within that question itself. So we'll move to Ashish. What are the different ways to build pipeline? What are the signals you look at? We have already explained that. It was covered later on. Due to the AI, product cost will be much lesser in future, or ticket size will remain higher. So Pushkar, just to make you understand, the AI, as Anuj told, it will ease in the process a lot. But to implement that AI, the cost will always high. So it will always keep crossing each other or balancing each other. So that's how it's gonna work. And if Anuj wants to add up something on this question, that due to the AI
That's,
product cost.
yeah, that's more or less it, I think. And the product cost will be lesser in the future, that's true. But ticket sizes depends, yeah. I mean, if you're working for OpenAI or Perplexity and you're dealing with governments, Perplexity just did a government deal with, I think, one of, I don't know, the Telangana government or someone else. But you can not even imagine the deal size there. That's as big an enterprise deal as it can be. So it's not necessary that they will go down or remain stagnant. It just depends on what kind of product you're looking for, what kind of segment you're working in, and how big are you thinking about. Thinking about conquering the world. Uh, it's pretty big, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Now we have a question from Pranav. How important is sticking to the same company where versus optimizing for skill
Great.
stacking?
Great. I think I keep interacting with Pranav on LinkedIn as well. Thanks for showing up, man. How important is it to stick with the same company? It's not important at all if it's not working for you. I mean, people make this mistake quite often and they think that it will not look great on the resume. There is a jump from company X to company Y in 3 months or 6 months. But if your reasoning behind it is very solid, please, my only very humble request to every single person on this call, whether they are on camera or off camera or in a car or in front of the like TV or anything, jump ship. I mean, do what is best for you and your family. Uh, the hard red pill is that companies would not think twice in terms of yes, we are a family or not. That's marketing, doesn't work. I have been there for 11 plus years. I'll tell you the secrets. That's not it. If it's not working for you, you have to take the onus and responsibility of finding what works best for you. Okay. And if it's jumping ship,
So it's not about choosing the company, guys. It's about choosing the situation, what's right for you or what's not. Thank you so much, Anuj. Great answer. Now, coming to a question from Shant, there is a line of thinking in tech ecosystem that says you don't hire sales leadership in the initial stages like 0 to 1 million or even the 1 to 10 million stage. Instead, it should be a completely founder led sales process in the beginning. What's your take on this?
wonderful, yeah. I love the question, Chant. It is true and it is not. In certain cases, yes. So it depends. I mean, uh, it depends on what your market is, what your product is, what you're selling. All of these things come into the picture as well. So it's not a black or white answer that, you know what, till 100K, it is always founder-led sales. After 100K, there is a founding AE. After 1 million, there is a sales leader. It's not that. There is no playbook for this. Uh, but yeah, in any product-based company, till you reach a certain stage, which is more or less the PMF, the founding team, the founder has to be there in sales. This is very important, and this is also a mistake that a lot of new founders make. They think that sales will solve everything. You just need to hire like the best salesperson. But there are such shitty products out there as well. You can bring in the Wolf of Wall Street, you can bring in Jordan Belfort. They will not be able to sell it because the product is shitty. Right? So founder has to be there in that initial stage of sales. And once you start seeing the code in the matrix as pattern, that's when you bring in either a founding AE or a sales leader to probably bring the motion out of it. For quizzes, yes, it was a 0 to 1 journey. The ROW segment in the US, quizzes was already doing 10, 15 million, right? But in ROW, it was zero. So we had some understanding of what people want, not the perfect understanding of what people want. Does that make sense?
Perfect, perfect. So in short, guys, if you cannot drive the car, don't build the car. Now,
Yeah.
coming to Gokul, anyone who works in early stage startup goes to hell. No, I think you mean goes through hell, right?
I
Not
think
to
that
hell.
That was a reply to, I think, your night shift, statements.
Gokul. Now,
Yeah.
and we have a question also from Gokul. Curious to hear what's working these days for AEs to self-source pipeline. Given the stats shows a drop in reply rates across channels, suggestions, please.
amazing. I was just going to say that Gopal, you have done such a wonderful job not asking a question but making a statement only. But you have asked a question. AEs to self curious to hear what's working these days for AEs to self-source pipeline. Okay. There is a drop in reply rates. That's 100% true. One of the reasons is a lot of AI outreach and the way it is being done. It is very bad. I feel very sorry for the people who are doing it. I feel more sorry for the people who are buying the story of these people, some so-called GTM engineers who will promise, I think, heaven and stars to these early stage startups. They'll build some sort of a very bad playbook, which is nothing but spamming. So they'll build some generic messaging. And the problem with this is, I'll tell you what the paradox is. If I build a very generic messaging and I send it to 1 million people, right? Whether it's in the form of LinkedIn or cold calls or cold emails, 1,000 people are going to be interested, right? Because you're sending it to such a vast number of audience that it is going to stick somewhere. Somewhere it is going to stick. And the problem here is nobody is looking at that denominator, right? That how many people did we burn to get to that 100 meetings or that 50 meetings number? And the second problem with it is that what after that? You've burned your entire market and TAM. Now people are not even going to open your emails. Now you're marked as spam and junk. But these folks are so clever that by that time their experiment gets over in 3 months and they're off with the money and they are on to the next project, right? It's very bad, yeah. It's very bad for the people who really want to like make a difference with outbound, with sales, with the right strategies, because they're like literally burning the market right now. So this is happening. Reply rates are going down on calls, pickup rates are going down, emails, reply rates are going down. But at the same time, if you use AI in the right manner, if you because everyone is doing this, right? So what stands out is what stands out. If you are personalizing in a way that nobody is, it will literally stand out of the crowd. And today with AI, you have more chances of standing out of the crowd than less, because 95% of the people are abusing it. You need to be on the side of those 5% who are literally using it in the right way to like hyper personalize your messaging in the right way, in the right manner to the right people and reaching out in the right way. So if you're a part of that 5%, it is actually, I think, better for you today because of all the noise.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now we have a question from Arpit that okay, people are not getting a chance to for edtech guys to move to B2B SaaS, for example, Adobe. Arpit, for your information, we have had placements in Adobe, so the question doesn't stand. We'll help you. You can connect with us to make you understand how the process works and what it takes to move from edtech or B2C industry to B2B SaaS. And thank you so much, guys. We are not taking any more questions because we have a time limit, and any question after the feedback form will not be entertained. Thank you so much for everything. For anything, if you have another question, anything, feel free. You know how to dig it down on LinkedIn and find Anuj. And if he accepts the request, because he have been on the camera and he knows you by the face, definitely he's going to accept the request. You can put the
Yeah,
questions there.
I only accept requests of whose cameras are. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Please send one. Like I'm like I'm not a big person to see all these things. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that so many people showed up and stayed as well. Might benefit someone is what I think. Maybe tomorrow when you're going to work and when you think about the session for 1 second, I think I have fun. Like Ravi would have different wedding parameters, but it's a big win for me. And yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. I mean,
100
we all
people.
and it's something.
More
Hello,
than, we had more than 100 people.
so much. I'm very flattered. I would have loved if I would have like gotten the opportunity to take like a screenshot with like 100 people on the call. But
If you
I
can
was
switch on the cameras, please, for the screenshot,
yeah.
that would be
If
great.
if people are listening and not just joined the call and kept their phones, they don't know about it or something. Uh,
Yeah, see, we can see so many smiling faces. We have Hitesh, we have Makesh, we have Sai Kiran. Oh my God, so many people. Huh? Beautiful people.
like
Rayan, where were you, man? Hey, Rayan, what's up?
these are good-looking folks. So, I mean,
I
why
was
should
active.
yeah.
I was active and I was listening to Anuj. I
Oh my
didn't
God.
even move from my laptop for not even a second, I would say.
I'll
That's
hide my face now. I think this is the time when I hide myself. But nonetheless, yeah, let me please click this. I'll love to probably, I think, give you all a shout out for just showing up every one. Okay.
And guys, if you wanna know what we are building for the SDRs and account executives and the GTM leaders, what we have on the table, please fill the feedback form. That would help us to bring more people on these kind of sessions to interact with you guys, because if it's not bringing value to you, it's useless. And how we understand it's bringing value to you? When you put feedback, and that's what help us to grow. So thank you so much for everyone to join, and thank you so much, Anuj, for the time. Loved it, loved the session. To be very honest, I got a message from my co-founder, guys. My co-founder of the Hire for Skills is there. His name is Arvinda, and he's there on the camera. If you can figure it out, if you can find him. So guys, he's there, and he personally texted me. I'll be honestly, I can share the screen and show you, Ravi, this is the best masterclass that he has attended.
Oh my
So
God.
credit goes to you, Anuj. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Take care. Thank you for again showing up. The intent matters the most, and this is what changes things. Because if you want to make a change in your life, it starts today. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Anuj.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
night.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you for your time.
So, Ravi bhai, will we receive the form through email?
It's there in the chat box. It will be shared over email as well.
Just
Thank you so much, guys. You can
thank you.
drop off.